Coming up this morning.
I really thought I was going to die, actually. I mean, I was really scared. I thought that the water would keep coming in.
Bad weather causing boats to capsize off the coast of Alabama. We'll bring you the latest on search efforts. And could a new law legalize betting on fantasy football?
Now, from Louisiana's News Channel, this is 9 News Sunday Morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. It's Sunday, April the 26th here on 9 News Sunday Morning. James Sparvero and Jeff Morrow. So happy you're joining us this morning. Jeff, my friend, it looks like we've got a beautiful day ahead, but it's going to be a hot one, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. We could be threatening a record high temperature for the date, actually, but we're going to talk about the fog. That's kind of more precedent right now. Radar is clear, but we do have some pockets of patchy, sort of misty drizzle, all associated with some fog. You can see actually we have a dense fog advisory across Acadiana until 9 o'clock this morning, but just quarter-mile visibilities here in the capital city, half-mile in Hammond and Macomb, so some spots are thicker than others. You see Gonzales checking in with 5-mile visibility, so certainly a foggy start to the morning with those areas of dense fog. Now, as mentioned, that dense fog advisory in Lafayette will remain until 9 a.m. That's when fog is expected to start to dissipate, but patchy fog will also be possible again Monday morning, so watch out for that morning commute as you head into work. Temperatures right now, 69 degrees here in the capital city, but as mentioned, we could be threatening a record high temperature. We'll talk more about that and give you a look at the remainder of your weekend forecast and the work week ahead coming up in just a few minutes. James.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Beginning with developing news this morning, rough weather leaving a path of damage and heartbreak. In Alabama, a severe storm tossed boats around at a regatta race. This happened yesterday in Mobile Bay. At last report, the Coast Guard says 50 people have been rescued, but 5 people are still missing, and tragically, a local mayor there near Mobile tells reporters that 1 person is dead. More than 100 sailboats were a part of this regatta. More information at the bottom of our hour. Closer to home this morning, investigators are working a tragic shooting here in Baton Rouge. Police say someone shot and killed a pregnant woman early Saturday morning, 8 months pregnant. It happened on Ship Drive, not far from Florida Boulevard. They believe she was gunned down after answering her front door. Doctors were able to save the woman's unborn child, but news of the violence is now making neighbors afraid to go outside.
I walk my dog at night around the block, and I'm not scared. I wasn't. I may be scared now.
If you get a knock at the door, maybe check and see who it is, ask who it is prior to answering the door if you do not have a peephole. We don't want the public to be afraid or scared.
Corporal Coppola and his team, not much to go on right now. If you know anything about this tragedy, call Crime Stoppers. That number, 344-STOP. This morning, New Orleans police, they're really busy too. They're looking for a 14-year-old girl who they say brutally attacked her 71-year-old grandmother, causing the woman to have a heart attack. It happened Friday night in the 7th Ward. Police are now charging the teen with attempted murder. They say she choked her grandmother, causing the heart attack, and then she also beat her grandfather before leaving the home. We don't know the girl's name at this time, but police are now putting together an arrest warrant. There's another crime alert to tell you about, this one in St. Martinville. Police busted 2 accused drug dealers on Friday. They discovered drugs and all those guns there, along with around $20,000 in cash. 40-year-old Joseph Gilliam and 37-year-old Jonathan Mason, they are both behind bars on drug and gun charges. Police say 2 of their guns were stolen. Looking ahead now to another busy week. It'll be week 3 for lawmakers at the Capitol of the legislative session. Transportation will once again be the big item for the legislature. A House committee will take up a proposed $7 billion tax hike for 15 new state projects, including a new bridge in Baton Rouge over the Mississippi. That bill is from Representative Karen St. Germain. She also wants to enact a new gas tax up to 25 cents per gallon that could raise as much as $750 million per year. Watch 9 News tonight at 10 for even more on the bills and legislation that matter to you. Like this one, if you play fantasy football right now, it's against the law to bet anything on online fantasy sports. But Wednesday, lawmakers will discuss getting rid of that ban. 4 other states have a similar ban on betting for fantasy sports. The governor at the legislature, well, he wasn't there this weekend. Governor Jindal joined Republicans in taking punches at Democrats in Iowa. where he took the stage at the Faith and Freedom Coalition yesterday. Senators Marco Rubio and Rand Paul, also former Texas Governor Rick Perry, they also spoke. Governor Jindal challenged Hillary Clinton's support for abortion rights. Looking at the governor's travel plans, he'll be out of the state most of the remaining weeks left in the legislative session. New this morning, meet the pocket shark. Researchers discovered this very rare shark 5 years ago in the Gulf of Mexico, but they're just now getting around to naming it. This shark, it's just the second of its species ever discovered. Really interesting. Crews found it about 190 miles off the Louisiana coast. They spotted it back in 2010 during a National Weather Service mission. And now they have a name for it, the pocket shark. Hundreds of people travel the Pearl River along Louisiana's border every month, but a state agency now wants the Army Corps of Engineers to tear out several dams along the river. This all comes after 2 people died last month when their boat went over a small dam. It's a danger one man says he's experienced firsthand. 7 years ago, his boat went over a dam and he fought for his life for 30 minutes.
And then over the sill, you got this water drop, which creates a backflow, and it was sucking me underneath.
The dams were built decades ago to handle barge traffic. Critics of the plan say they're tearing out the dams. Critics of the plan, say tearing out the dams could cause them to lose a fishing resource, however. The Port of New Orleans has an exciting new addition. Mayor Mitch Landrieu says it's another great sign for the Crescent City.
This is another example that people are moving back to the city rather than away. So it's just a great day for us, and we're really thankful.
American Cruise Lines, they christened the city's newest riverboat on Friday. It's now the company's second riverboat to call New Orleans home. The 150-passenger ship, it offers 8-day trips between the Big Easy and Memphis. Jazz Fest Saturday, it was a lot of fun for tens of thousands of people, but a lot of those folks, like Friday, they left soaked. The sun, it did make an appearance just in time for the classic rock legends The Who to take the stage. But meantime, vendors say while they prepared for the rough weather, it did cut into their sales. Jazz Fest, if you're thinking about going, it resumes today. The headliners include Jimmy Buffett, Lady Gaga with Tony Bennett, and Pitbull and Jeff Morrow. The problem is if you like all three, they're performing at the same time at 3 different stages, so you can't see all at once, so you really got to pick and choose here.
Yeah, and none of them are jazz musicians.
The headliners, the mainstream ones, I went on Friday, they're at the big stages to attract the big crowds, but they do have separate stages.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they have jazz music, but I'm just saying they bring in the big people. Guy. Yeah, they bring in the big people, but they don't actually play jazz.
Oh, all right. It took years of planning, but the Knock Knock Children's Museum, it's finally a reality. Ahead on 9 News Sunday morning, the people behind the project, they join us live in studio. And we've also got Dan Gill. He's got a unique way to bring a little color to your landscape, Jeff. That's in this morning's Get It Growing.
Your outdoor forecast, though, is calling for dry conditions today. How about that? We'll take that for sure, but it is going to be on the hot, if not humid side as well. You take a look at the temperature profile, and we'll be climbing into the upper 80s today. 89 degrees, close to 90 degrees, James. Can you believe it?
Feeling like summer pretty early around here. That's incredible.
It is.
Sunday morning trivia question. A look way back at the earliest days of mankind. Get ready for this one.
That's right. German astronomer Johannes Kepler, back in his time, some 400 years ago, proclaimed that the universe was born on this week, about 5,000 BC. Just this week. All right. Well, just this week, we got a spectacular look at our corner of space from the Hubble telescope.
So we're asking you this Sunday morning, how far off do modern-day scientists estimate Kepler's calculations were? He said the universe started in 5,000 BC, so what do the scientists today tell you? We've got that answer for you at the bottom of the hour. Good luck, everybody. 7:18 on a Sunday morning. Happening overnight, Baltimore streets turned violent with protesters getting angry at police. Here's some new video we have. At one point, demonstrators set a car on fire. Police arrested several people. The protests, they're in response to the death of 25-year-old Freddie Gray. The man was tackled by police and arrested 2 weeks ago after running from the cops, police say. Gray suffered a spinal injury. He died last Sunday, and now police say they did not get him the medical care he needed. Across the globe this morning, a strong earthquake in Nepal continued to shake the area overnight as tens of thousands spent the night in tents. The death toll there from yesterday's powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake, it now stands at more than 2,000. An avalanche triggered by the earthquake is blamed for some of the deaths. At least one powerful aftershock had people running for open ground. One survivor from California describes the scary moment when he began to feel it coming on.
No one seemed to be too alarmed. You know, maybe it was just some trucks rumbling by. Then it kept going and going, got stronger and stronger. And people started screaming a little bit, and a lot of people ran out. A waiter and I hid under a table.
Can't even imagine. Even more trouble this morning. Most of the areas hit have no water or power. Meantime, a volcano threatens to do even more damage in Chile. Airlines had to cancel a few flights yesterday as the ash spread over the southern half of South America. Some good news here. Authorities downgraded the chance of another eruption, but the mountain, it's still active right now. Back in the States this morning, people in North Florida are getting a look at this damage left over from the weekend's wicked weather. 2 rounds of strong storms swept through Jacksonville Saturday. You can see here the strong winds. They split trees and they sent large branches onto cars and homes. Some people reported spotting a tornado, but weather officials, they have not confirmed those reports. All right, still to come on 9 News Sunday morning. LSU students going right to the doors of the state capitol. Another rally for higher education in the week ahead. And we've also got the men and women who put their lives on the line, taking home some big honors this weekend. Construction crews hard at work to build what promises to be a big bonus for Baton Rouge. After years of planning, they finally broke ground on the Knock Knock Children's Museum near City Park. Joining us this morning, 2 people who helped make it all a reality. We have our friends Mimi and Aza. Good morning, girls. A lot of work here, huh?
Absolutely. We've been working hard, and we're excited that the ground has been turned, and we're getting ready to build the Children's Museum.
Yeah, and Mimi, talk to us about some of the challenges that we faced recently. A lot of politics involved in this too, right?
Well, of course, as with any construction, but I'm going to let Aza answer that.
Go ahead, Aza.
Because she's...
Yeah, sure. Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, I think with any huge project, there's always a challenge, but we were really excited that Mayor Holden decided to step up, and he gave a gift of his own personal funds to help.
About $10,000.
About $10,000 to help waive some fees, and we've raised over $9.4 million, but we still have about $3 million left to go. So.
And achieving that goal, that $3 million, how are we doing that?
We're really looking to the greater community to step up now. You can go to our website, knockknockmuseum.org, and we would like everybody to think about what kind of gift you could make.
Sure.
$5, $10, $25 to help us open the doors for the children of our community.
That's what this is all about, right? Helping the children. What kind of activities can they have at this museum? How can they really benefit from something like this being built?
The museum really is all about hands-on learning. It's interactive. There's STEM literacy, there's art, there is very engaging science and reading activities. It's all about learning through play. So children are going to walk in to this amazing building and really not even think about the fact that they're learning, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to walk into Pelican Pantry, which is our grocery store. They're going to sort food and learn about nutrition. They're going to go into Story Tree and listen to a visiting author and write their own stories and send it to a friend through their own mailbox. And all in all, this is supporting everything they're learning in school at the same time, doing something really fun with their family and caregivers that is really engaging and supporting all those educational activities.
Well said. Fun like when we got them wearing the hard hats and we gave them a couple of shovels. They had some fun with that, didn't they, last week?
They did. They
sure
loved
did.
all that dirt. It was really great to see them. They dug in for us and had a great time.
All right, Aza and Mimi, thank you so much for being here this morning. We wish you the best. You
Thank
need a
you
couple
so
more million
much.
bucks. We hope the community can come forward and help you guys out, all right?
We know they will. Thank you so
we'll
much.
Be with you again soon. Still to come on 9 News Sunday morning, hitting the bottom of the hour, President Obama shows us more of his funny side. We've got the best from the White House Correspondents' dinner. And this boy's got his own skills. Wait until you see what he can do with a pair of skates.
Coming up this morning.
In our second half hour, a warning from the Attorney General if you're thinking of buying a solar panel. And Baton Rouge remembers a car dealership icon. We'll show you a new memorial for Jerry Lane.
Now, from Louisiana's News Channel, this is 9 News Sunday Morning.
And welcome back in, everybody. It's Sunday, April the 26th. We're so happy you're making us a part of whatever you're doing today. Before you get started, thanks for being with us first. James Sparvero and Jeff Morrow. Jeff, a look at our weather this morning. We're approaching record high temperatures, perhaps. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still in April, kind of can still remain on the mild side, but today going to be kind of hot. But we're dealing with some fog out there early on this morning. You take a look at visibilities, about half of a mile at Baton Rouge Metro Airport being reported at this hour. Quarter of a mile in Hammond and Macomb. It's much worse over the Atchafalaya Basin, so if your travels are taking you westbound on I-10, you may run into some issues. Less than a quarter of a mile for Lafayette and New Iberia this morning. 69 degrees is our current temperature here in the capital city. 68 new roads. You take a look at the pinpoint forecast show. We're going to warm up very quickly today. 77 by 9 a.m., 84 by the noon hour. We'll top out at 89 degrees this afternoon, and if we do reach that 89-degree temperature, that would tie the record for this date. We'll stay dry today, but rain returns for the work week. We'll talk about how much rain we could see coming up in just a few minutes. James?
Thank you for that, Jeff. New this morning, a possible warning about a scam. This coming from the Attorney General's office. Attorney General Buddy Caldwell, he wants homeowners to think twice before they install solar panels. Caldwell says, get an energy efficient audit before making the commitment, and remember to read the fine print to avoid getting ripped off. The AG says solar panels, they can be a good investment because they can help cut down a high energy bill, but remember, look out for that scam warning this morning. Also new at this hour, LSU students, they're starting to really pay attention to what this legislative session could mean for their school. Students plan to protest cuts to higher education Thursday at the Capitol. That's according to the website NOLA.com. Student government leaders, they're organizing this march. We've already seen higher ed rallies each of the first 2 weeks of the session. It's becoming a trend. Worst case scenario with potential higher ed cuts, the state's higher ed commissioner says these cuts could mean campus closures. This is new this morning. Very tragic news we're sharing. Baton Rouge police tell us 2 people are dead after drowning in a Tigerland pool. Police say it happened just after 1 this morning. When officers got to the apartment building, they found 2 people at the bottom of a pool. Details are very thin. The victims are only being described as a male and female of Middle Eastern descent. We'll bring you more details, big questions, how something like this could happen. That information for you when it's made available. Catch our later newscasts tonight at 5:30 and at 10 o'clock. This morning, reports of 1 death after bad weather wreaked havoc on a weekend regatta. Strong winds capsized boats in Mobile Bay yesterday. At last check, as many as 5 people are still missing. The Coast Guard, they've rescued 50. Officials say the storm came as a surprise to many people. And as it happened, 1 man turned to prayer.
You know, I said, Jesus, you've calmed the waters. Calm the waters.
Yeah.
And the storm just subsided just enough that I could keep my head up.
More than 100 sailboats were part of that regatta. Around the world this morning, crews are digging through the rubble, searching for signs of survivors from that massive earthquake in Nepal. The powerful quake, the death toll there, it's already reached more than 2,000. Here's Andy Rose with the very latest.
The 7.8 magnitude quake struck less than 50 miles from Kathmandu, knocking down historic structures and killing more than 1,400 in the region. Tremors caused avalanches on nearby Mount Everest. Rescue workers dug through rubble where buildings once stood, looking for survivors. Reporting from Kolkata, CNN's India bureau chief said rescue workers face difficult conditions.
This part of the world, infrastructure tends to be very, very weak. Roads aren't as wide. There isn't a robust emergency response system, the police system, the ambulance system, the healthcare system. None of these systems are, what you would imagine them to be in the West.
Kathmandu's population is around 1 million. In the aftermath of the tragedy, hospitals overflowed with the injured. Emergency workers treated people in the streets. Nightfall only made conditions worse.
It is nightfall now. It is also raining. It is extremely difficult to reach people who may still be trapped.
Thousands will be spending the night outside. People fear more buildings may collapse.
So, the problems just seem to be mounting for Nepali authorities. The airport has been closed. So really, it is all hands on deck out there.
Aid agencies say the humanitarian crisis is intense. Survivors left homeless will need food, clothing, and shelter in the coming days. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
The official death toll expected to rise as rescue and recovery operations continue. Closer to home, he helped with expanding youth sports in Baton Rouge. Now there's a memorial to honor all his work. This memorial here was unveiled yesterday to honor the late Jerry Lane. Lane was a big supporter of the YMCA and their youth sports programs. The fixture sits at the entrance to the newly named Jerry Lane Sports Complex at the Paul G. Manship YMCA.
Dad did so much for other people that it's good for us to do something for him in his memory, because everybody knows what a giver he was and how many things he did to help others, especially those people who could not help themselves. That was his main thing, was to do something for somebody else. He never wanted to do anything for himself.
And in addition to the ribbon cutting, the YMCA also held their National Healthy Kids Day. It's a free health and wellness event for children and their parents. They spend a lot of time away from family, making sure all of us are safe. Now those men and women are getting a big thank you from their boss. The Baton Rouge Fire Department held its annual Family Day and Medal Awards ceremony yesterday. Firefighters who've shown exceptional skills and heroism on the job, they all got certificates. Some received awards for saving a life using CPR, while others were awarded for saving someone trapped inside a burning building. Well, if you've got $50, then you've got a chance to win one of 5 brand new Lexus vehicles. The annual, WAFB's annual Driving the Future raffle, it's happening right now. The drawing itself happens on May the 20th, so you've got time. The money raised from this raffle, it stays right here in our area. It goes to Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, and Jeff Morrow, when he gets his next big contract, he's getting himself a Lexus. And then one day, it might go right to your son, his first car. How's that sound?
Oh, wow. I wish I could afford a Lexus, but I don't even think the next contract.
Next big contract, my friend.
No, probably not.
Coming up in about 15 minutes here on 9 News Sunday Morning. Capital City Grill back in the kitchen cooking up a great treat for Sunday brunch. Jeff, can't wait for that.
Absolutely. Boating and fishing, going to be nice out there today, although a little bit on the warm side, so be sure to stay hydrated if you have outdoor activities today. We'll top out at 89, but winds today going to be very light, and waves over our inland lakes only 1 foot.
All right, taking a look, Sunday morning trivia going way back in time, 5,000 years BC.
Right, that's when German astronomer Johannes Kepler says the universe was actually born.
So this morning we asked you, how far off do modern-day scientists estimate Kepler's calculations really were? And that answer, wow, it's 13.7 billion years. That's when scientists developed the Big Bang Theory. We hope you were thinking of that, and that later changed the minds about when our universe was born. Thanks for playing along. After we hit that record today, possibly.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Could be tying that record today.
We'll see. Sure. Let's take a look at something fun. We did it last week. Let's do it again. Our Sunday snapshots. That Delaware cop, he got a lot of attention for lip syncing to Taylor Swift's big hit, Shake It Off. He's back at it again. Have a listen, getting some help from a fellow Dover police officer himself. Yeah, they're really working it there, Jeff. This video entitled Dashcam Confessionals, Dover Police Lip Sync Part 2. It's nice to see some hardworking officers having some downtime now and then.
Yeah, absolutely.
To enjoy themselves a little bit. But I gotta tell you, I guess that got a little more views than than I would. I wouldn't watch that myself if I was cruising the way. Cruising the way.
Have you ever heard of roller skate limboing?
I have not.
Take a look at this. This is a 6-year-old.
Now that's got my interest.
And this is a 6-year-old.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he can bend unbelievably. His flexibility. I mean, he's just 6 years old, and he slides underneath cars. I think there were about 30 of those cars lined up there. I mean, just goes right underneath them.
And this doesn't look like America, does it?
No, it's not. It's a thing.
No, that's.
But I mean, he is not on the ground. He is just off the ground. Look at that.
Unbelievable, man. That's incredible. Holy cow! And then we bring it back to America, where our producer wants to take a look at President Obama's highlights from this weekend's the old Correspondents dinner.
White House Correspondents.
They do some one-liners here. Let's take a listen.
Welcome to the fourth quarter of my presidency. That was Michelle cheering. Being president is never easy. I still have to fix a broken immigration system, issue veto threats, negotiate with Iran, all while finding time to pray 5 times a day. This week, Michelle Bachmann actually predicted that I would bring about the biblical end of days. Now that's a legacy.
I like to remember that time that George W. Bush was at the Correspondents' dinner, and that gentleman who passed away a couple years back, who did that fantastic impression of him, stood next to him at the same time. Do you recall that one by any chance?
Oh.
It was a good one. I can't recall his name, but anywho, we've got Capital City Grill coming up on the only live Sunday morning newscast in the capital city. Stay with us for that. Wiesel, he's outdone himself here. It's fantastic, my friend. You won't share the secret recipes, but we're happy you're sharing the taste.
There you go.
The hollandaise,
taste the goodness, taste the
on
goodness.
top of the eggs here in the crab cake.
And Wiesel was mentioning that he uses that crab bowl for that potato before to make the hash browns. And I'm tasting the potatoes. They're not spicy, so if you're worried about it being too spicy,
they're very
it's not that
flavorful.
bad.
I guess you could say very flavorful, right?
Wiesel Williamson, Capital City Grill, thank you so much for being back with us, my friend.
Thank you.
Love having you. To everybody else,
appreciate it.
Make it a great day. We'll see you next Sunday morning. Take care, everyone.